Starfield is here, and are you wanting to play as some sort of maybe space pirate or a bounty hunter in Starfield? Or do you just want to cause all sorts of trouble throughout space and just make a complete mess of everything? In this video, we are going to give you a space pirate build to get going in Starfield right away. We're going to go through the needed skills, traits, and even tie into backgrounds. If you need a further deep dive into those type of topics, then I would watch this video here first, and then come back to this one. Now, normally when we'd want to go through any sort of build type situation, we'd want to start with backgrounds because that is something that you start with in game, but we really want to make sure that we understand the skills first. So we're going to start there. The website we're going to be using is called NukesDragons.com. It's /Starfield/character. We'll put a link to this in the description below. It is still under development, but I think it's a great resource to see how you might potentially want to build. Remember, at a high level, we've got 5 different skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. So let's start with physical. And I will say, generally speaking, what do we want to be? We want to be badass, running through everywhere we want, be able to push people around, be strong, survive. Anything along those lines are going to be the skills we lean into. When you look at physical, there is going to be a lot. In the first row of physical, you've got basically everything you're looking for. And these are broken up in rows. This is in the other video. Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, novice, advanced, expert, master. So in that novice Tier 1 row, boxing, fitness, stealth, weightlifting, wellness, what each of these do help you move along. Each one of these is going to help you be stronger and tougher in game. We've got 4 stars selected on each one of these, which means it's at its max rank. We're going to go through and show how they evolve for each one. So the first one, boxing, it starts off with unarmed attacks do 25% more damage and 25% less O2 oxygen used when using a power attack. That's something that you're going to want to monitor. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got plenty of oxygen when fighting. You upgrade it, you can see that those unarmed attacks do a little bit more damage. Upgrade again, unarmed attacks go up to 75% damage, and while in a fight and unarmed, running consumes 30% less O2. There is a chance that you will find yourself not too unarmed at certain points, so you could potentially stop this around that 2-star mark. At 4 stars, its unarmed attacks do 100% more damage and have a chance to knock down opponents. So if you're finding yourself doing a lot of unarmed, then boxing is definitely the way to go. Fitness, you have 10% more oxygen available. We talked about it a second ago. Oxygen's important. 20% more available. 30% more available. And then on the last one, sprinting and power attacks now use significantly less oxygen. This is likely going to be a big factor, so something you're going to want to build into. Stealth. Now let's be real. If you're going to be a bounty hunter, space pirate, anybody causing any sort of ruckus, you're going to need to be stealthy. So stealth starts off as adding a stealth meter. So you need it, right? You want it. You are 25% more difficult to detect when sneaking. Suppressed weapons do an additional 5% sneak attack damage. Upgrade, 50% more difficult to detect and 10% more sneak damage. 3rd star, 75% more difficult to detect when sneaking, and your suppressed weapons do 15% more damage. And then finally, 100% more difficult to detect and 20% more damage. Doors you interact with while in stealth no longer alert enemies. So you definitely want to get this one to 4 stars without a doubt. Next up, weightlifting. Increase total carrying capacity by 10 kilograms. The reason you're going to want to go into this is because there's a chance you might be running around somewhere. You've got something. You're not able to get back to your ship or wherever you're going because, let's be real, you're going to be exploring and you might find something and then something else, and you just want to cause a whole bunch of chaos. Carry stuff. Be strong. That goes up to 25 kilograms, 50 kilograms, and then on the last level, it increases by 100 kilograms, and you gain 50% resistance to stagger. So you're not going to be wanting to wobble around when you're carrying this stuff. Last on the Tier 1 novice row is wellness. This is about increasing your maximum health. You want to be strong. It goes from 10% to 20 to 30 to 40. As much HP as possible so you can survive. That simple. All right, in Tier 2 advanced, the first one we've got is energy weapon dissipation. Energy damage is reduced by 5%. And generally speaking, we're going to look for any sort of damage reduction to help yourself survive a little bit longer. This goes up to 10%, then 15%. And on the last level, it's 25% chance to reflect energy damage back to your attacker when your health is below 50%. Now, that is a small percent chance, so you don't necessarily have to use that 4th star. We are going to skip over the airborne environmental damage for now, but it is a potential one to come back to. Gymnastics. Unlock the ability to combat slide. Take 15% less fall damage. You're going to be jumping, running, falling off cliffs because somebody's chasing you. You need to survive that. You want to slide and be more versatile in combat? Get the combat slide. Move faster in 0G? Yes, please. Take 20% less fall damage. Third stage is become more stable while firing in 0G. Take 30% less fall damage and replenish some oxygen after mantling. Again, any chance you get to replace oxygen, you're going to want to do it. And on the last level, it's increased jump height, run faster after combat sliding or mantling. You just want to be versatile when fighting. This is important. We do think nutrition is going to be important in game, but if you build yourself to be such a badass, then we're not going to stress too much about what food and drink you've got. So pain tolerance. Physical damage is reduced by 5%, 10%, 15%. And then on the last one, 5% chance to ignore physical damage when your health is low. Again, you just want to survive. This is going to be key for that. Tier 3 expert. We've got cellular regeneration. Slightly increased chance to recover from injuries naturally. Again, you're going to be all over the place, secluded potentially. You're going to be able to need to heal. This is going to be important for that. Moderately increased chance to recover from injuries naturally. Noticeably increased chance. 20% chance of not gaining an injury when you otherwise would. This is about survival. It's going to be important. Definitely want to do it. Then why haven't I picked decontamination? This could be one we potentially come back to. For right now, we're going to skip over it. Martial arts, 15% chance to crit with a melee or unarmed attack. You never know when you're going to have a weapon. You might need to drop it. Again, you are running around the cosmos trying to take everything that you want and cause all sorts of chaos. You need to be a badass. 15% chance to disarm an opponent with a melee or unarmed weapon. Yes, please. And then while unarmed or wielding a melee weapon, take 10% less damage. This is important. You're going to be stealthing around a lot. A lot of times that might mean you are no guns or you're using some sort of knives. And then on the last one, reflect 50% damage back when blocking a melee or unarmed attack. That's always useful. Could be one that maybe you're not into blocking, so you don't have to go into that one. Last but not least, into tier 4 master, we've got concealment, and this plays into stealth. You definitely want to do this. First one, you no longer set off enemy mines. Yeah, that's important. Ranged sneak attacks do 2.5 times more normal damage, and your melee sneak attacks do 4 times more normal damage. Next up, running while sneaking doesn't affect stealth. Again, that's going to be awesome. If you got to sneak around and get out of somewhere really quickly, you're going to want to run. Range sneak attacks go up to 3 times normal damage, and your melee sneak attacks do 5 times more normal damage. Next level up, you gain a chameleon-like ability when completely still and sneaking. This is going to be awesome. Imagine yourself with a little bit of an invisibility cloak. You're maybe trapped in an area. Everyone's got you surrounded. Just don't move. Just stay still. Range sneak attacks do 3.5 times normal damage, and your melee sneak attacks do 8 times more normal damage. On the last level, you get engaging stealth causes distant enemies to lose you. Ranged sneak attacks do 4 times more normal damage, and those melee sneak attacks do 10 times. This is an absolute must get into. I would hyper focus getting to this one. If you're limited on your points, just get to each level as quick as you can so that you can get to this one and max it out. Last up in the physical tree, we've got rejuvenation. This is going to be all about regenerating your health. Remember, you might take a bunch of damage, you've run somewhere and you've got to hide. You're outside combat, you want to regenerate that health faster. Hey, next level, regenerate health more quickly outside combat. Third level, much faster outside of combat, and you can now slowly regenerate health while in combat. Again, yes, please. And then the last one is you regenerate health even faster outside of combat. You can now regenerate health quickly while in combat. So if I'm looking at this tree, I am absolutely going with stealth as my first one, probably wellness to get into that next level. Since we are looking into stealth, you could potentially ditch fitness if you need to, but those first two, stealth and wellness, then once you get down to the next level, I would definitely get into gymnastics and probably pain tolerance. And if we can then focus in on the next levels, we're going to look at both cellular regeneration and martial arts. And then the first one we're going to max out is concealment. Physical is obviously going to be a critical tree for anybody who's trying to cause a whole bunch of chaos, beat people up, push people around, and sneak around. Next up, we've got social. In this first row, we've got commerce, persuasion, scavenging, and theft. For commerce, this buys for 5% less and sells for 10% more. Anybody who's trying to be a pirate might be doing that sort of thing where you got to buy stuff to trade to somebody later, or you need a certain item. So as this builds up, you get it for 10% less, 15% more on the sale, 15% less on the buy, 20% more on the sale. And then on the last tier, it's buy for 20% less and sell for 25% more. It's just an ability you might need when trying to swindle people. Or maybe just get an item from somebody and get something more from somebody else. Persuasion. This is a critical thing. You're going to want to be able to force people to do what you want them to do. 10% increased chance of success when persuading. Second level 20. Third level 30. Last level is 50% increased chance. I think this is going to play an important role when you're trying to push people around a little bit. You might need somebody to give you something. Persuasion is going to be key. Scavenging. What pirate doesn't scavenge? You're going to want to scavenge and do it well. There's a chance you'll find extra credits when searching containers. Yes, we want that. There's a chance you'll find extra ammo when searching containers. Again, yes, please. There's a chance you'll find extra aid items like med packs or chems when searching containers. Yeah, we'll take that because like I said before, we're not necessarily leaning into the food yet. And then the last one is tracked resources will get highlighted when using the hand scanner. I'm not certain that you need the fourth one on this, but I did want to show it to you. Last but not least on this first novice row, theft. Unlock the ability to pickpocket targets. Yeah, you're going to want to do that. 10% greater chance to be successful. It's okay. It depends what my original percent chance is. 30% chance to be successful, and then 50% chance to successfully pickpocket. Can now pickpocket holstered weapons. I think this is going to be a good one. I think it's going to be important. You might be in a tough situation. You might need a weapon because you don't have one. Let's find it. Moving to tier 2 advanced. We have gotten every one of these highlighted. Deception, diplomacy. I'm a little on the fence on that one, but there are some things you might want to do. Intimidation, isolation, and negotiation. Again, this is all about getting what you want. Deception. Ships 10% stronger will automatically surrender to piracy demands. We talked about space pirate. Obviously, this is something you want to do. Enemy contraband scams are 10% less effective. 20% stronger. Ships will surrender to you. Scans 20% less effective. 30% percentages, and on the last one, it's 50%. You're going to want to do that. Diplomacy. I was torn on this one, but I figured, you know what? There might be times you want to force people to do things. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to stop fighting for a while. Maybe you need something for them. But the truth is, if you're going to ditch one on this row, it might be this one. You can force an NPC up to 10 levels higher to stop fighting, 20 levels to stop fighting, and on the last level, you can force target NPCs to permanently stop fighting unless they're attacked again. I don't know that I love this one in a pirate thing, but there could be some use for this. If you're going to drop one on this row, it's this one. Intimidation. Okay, we definitely want to intimidate people. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to flee for a limited amount of time. Maybe that gets you into where you need to go. You can force a target NPC up to 10 levels higher to flee. 20 levels higher to flee. And on the last one, intimidated targets now flee for a substantial amount of time. I think this one is definitely a must-have. You might need to get into certain areas. You're going to want to intimidate them to be able to get in. Isolation. What sort of pirate wants to be with anybody else? First level here, do 10% weapon damage and gain 15 damage resistance for each spacesuit and helmet equipped when you don't have any companion or crew. We're expecting to be solo on our missions because let's be real, we're going to piss a whole lot of people off. So we're going to lean into this. Next level does 20% weapon damage and 30 damage resistance. Next level is 30% weapon damage and 45 damage resistance. And the last level is 40% weapon damage and 60 damage resistance. All of this will help you whenever you're pirating. Negotiation. Are we even going to want to negotiate? It might be there. This could fall into the lines of diplomacy, but let's be real. The first one here, you now have access to bribery and speech challenges. You're a pirate. You're going to want to bribe people. Reduces bribery cost by 25%. Yeah. 50% reduction in cost. Yes, again. And then on the last one, occasionally bribery won't cost any money. That's huge. So are we going to put that with diplomacy and potentially remove it? No, I don't think so. We need to leave this. Tier 3 expert. The only one we've got here is instigation. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to attack their allies for a limited time. All right, you might want to do that. Again, we're causing chaos. You can force a target NPC up to 10 levels higher. Okay. 20 levels higher. Yeah, go attack your friends, please. And then on the last one, enemies affected by instigation will attack their allies until they are dead. You are going to be the master of mayhem. Now, if for some reason we do need to put additional points on the board, you could maybe look at outpost management, but right now we only like instigation on this tier 3. On the final tier here in our social tree, manipulation. This one we know we need. I'm not 100% convinced that you're going to want xenosociology, but we do have it highlighted for now. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to obey your commands for a limited amount of time. 10 levels higher to do the same. 20 levels higher to do the same. And then manipulated targets now obey commands for a substantial amount of time. You might need to force people to do what you want them to do. Manipulation is going to be key. So let's talk about xenosociology. Again, this might be one that we want to ditch. We'll see how we like it in game, but maybe creatures are something you're going to want to have obey you. You can force a target alien creature up to 10 levels higher to stop fighting for a limited amount of time. The reason I could see this is because maybe you're on a planet that just all these creatures are sort of coming at you and you need to get them to stop. You need to be able to get to hide or get them to work with you. That's the reason we're leaning into this. The next one is 10 levels higher, but you might get them to flee this time. The third level is you get them to attack their allies for a limited amount of time. Again, we're trying to cause chaos. And then on the last one, you can force a target creature up to 10 levels higher to obey commands for a limited amount of time. So we could see this as a potential need. Again, you want to cause chaos, you want to control things, you need to get out of tough situations. This could come into play. Combat. Now, you know you're going to need a bunch of these. So when you first look at this and go, why isn't anything filled out? Well, there's a reason. And that main reason is we want it all. We want every weapon to do more damage. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to say pick the weapon of your choice and work down the tree. Now, having said that, if we're going into some stealth, this dueling is very attractive. Melee weapons do 25% more damage, take 10% less damage while wielding a melee weapon. We know we're going to do that. Melee kills make you run 20% faster for 10 seconds. Yeah, I just killed someone. I need to get out of there. Melee weapons do 50% more damage, take 15% less damage while wielding melee weapons. And then melee kills heal you for 10% of your health. So while all of these other ones are about different weapons, dueling is probably the one you definitely want to get into. And on the first tier, you can see the final ranking for each one of these, where you get ballistics, it's increased range. Lasers, it's a 5% chance to set a target on fire. Pistols grant 25% crit hit chance for 5 seconds. That's actually not too bad. But again, only on a kill. Shotgun kills grant a small chance to stun additional targets. I still think from all of those weapon choices, it's going to be a personal preference. Tier 2 advanced. Again, we've got a lot of different weapons here that are doing more damage. So what do we want to definitely go into? Demolitions. Throwing grenades now shows a trajectory arc. Explosions have a 25% larger radius. Now, typically we're trying to stealth. We might not be wanting to use grenades, but maybe you've run away or you need to know where a grenade's going to hit so that you're stealthing around the outside of a base. You need to know where it goes and you move somewhere else. Yes, I want to know how that's going to hit and I want to get a bigger damage radius. Next level up, it does 25% more damage for explosives. Next level up, reduce damage taken from explosive by 25%. I think that's just generally helpful. And then all previous bonuses are doubled. So everything prior to that, it gets built up even more. Now for these other 4 that are all weapon-based, heavy weapon certification on the last level gains 25% physical resistance while aiming down sights with a heavy weapon. It's okay. Incapacitation, EM weapons have a 15% chance to do 300% EM damage. 15% is pretty low, so I don't know if I love that. But again, if you love EM weapons, look at this particular skill. Particle beams, they have a 5% crit chance. It's pretty low. I don't think I'm doing that unless I really love particle beams. Rifle certification, reload rifles 30% faster while you're standing still. I think the standing still is a little bit limited. Add a 30%. God, unless I am in love with rifles, yeah, no thanks. On tier 3 expert, yeah, we love all these. Marksmanship, rapid reloading, sniper certification, and targeting. So for marksmanship, first level, increased critical hit chance with non-automatic range weapons by 3%. Now, honestly, I don't like that small percentage. Next up, it's 8%. Again, that's a small crit hit chance. Next up, it's 15%. So wait a minute, is this really that good? Let's see what this last one is. Critical hits using a non-automatic ranged weapon without a scope do double damage, and those with scopes knock down enemies on the next shot. So if you're looking to knock down some people and maybe increase that crit hit chance, I would go with this route. Truth is, originally when I was looking at this, I didn't really love this and I had it X'd out. So that one is your choice, but it's not bad when you're thinking about doing more damage and higher crit chance because you might want to be further away and using scopes. But we're going to get to our sniper certification. Next up, rapid reloading. Reload ballistic weapons 30% faster. Are we using ballistic weapons? Maybe. Reload energy and EM weapons 30% faster. Oh, okay, so now we've got multiple weapons we can reload faster. Next one, reload particle beam weapons 30% faster. 50% chance to avoid getting interrupted while reloading. Now we're assuming that 50% chance is for all weapons, so that would weigh heavily if it's just particle beam weapons. And on the last one, it's chance on hitting enemies to increase reload speed for all weapons by 50% for 15 seconds. I think this one is interesting. If you're going to ditch something on this row, it could be this one because maybe it's a weapon reload that is not listed on here until you get to the last one, and it's only about 50% for 15 seconds. That's not worth putting your hard-earned skill points into. I would ditch it. And the truth is you might not need to rapid reload because you're going to be stealthing around. So for now, I like it, but I'm not going to have it highlighted. Sniper certification. You know we're going to want to do this. Scoped weapons are steadier and have less sway. That's going to be important. You're going to want to make sure to hit your shots. You can hold your breath longer with scoped weapons. This is going to tell you how important it's going to be real steady with that weapon. I think it's going to add a lot of fun into using that, because you're going to maybe have to factor in a lot more things than just where your cursor's pointed with that scope. Headshots while aiming with a scoped weapon have a plus 25% critical hit chance. I find it odd that you even need to crit on a headshot, but hey, maybe you hit someone in the head and they don't go down and you need that crit. Last is scoped weapons do 50% more damage while using the scope. Again, we want to be a pirate. We want to stealth. Scoped sniper, you're going to want to do it. Take your targets out from further away. Sneak in. Last but not least on this row is targeting. Increased accuracy and range when shooting without aiming. Marks up to one enemy within 25 meters that damage you. Accuracy is important. You might be aiming, you might not, but it is going to help you survive those shootouts. Next levels notably increase accuracy and range when shooting without aiming. Marks up to 2 enemies within 50 meters that damage you. So this way you know where people are at. Third level greatly increase accuracy and range. Marks up to 3 enemies within 75 meters. So that circle's expanding. So anytime there's a bunch of people around you, maybe attacking you, this is going to help you find them and know where people are at. And last level is 10% chance to disarm targets hit when shooting without aiming. Marks up to 4 enemies within 100 meters that damage you. There's a chance I'd be willing to ditch this one a little bit, but it would be nice to know if you're stealthing and a bunch of people are coming after you to know where they're at. Because let's be real, you're going to be a pirate and bounty hunters are going to come for you. So there's a chance you might need something like this because they might be stealthy just like you. On the final tier, Master, we've got armor penetration, crippling, and sharp shooting. Armor penetration. Attacks ignore 15% of target's armor. Yes, you're going to want to do that. But again, in stealth, does it matter? With a knife? You know what, it might. So let's just build into it. Ignore 30% of the target's armor. Increase critical hit chance with non-automatic range weapons by 15%. That's not bad. And then on the last one, critical hits using a non-automatic ranged weapon without a scope do double damage, and those with scopes knock down enemies on the next shot. Now, I will say, I'm not sure I want the last two on this. I like the 15%. I like the 30%. But here we're talking about increased critical hit chance with non-automatic range weapons. Okay, I like this one. It's because I'm using a sniper rifle somewhere and it's not automatic. But then when I get to the last one, critical hits using a non-automatic range weapon without a scope do double damage. Now, are you going to be such a good shot that you can do that without a scope? Time will tell. And with a scope, are you going to just want to knock somebody down? Maybe you do, but you better be able to fire off that next shot pretty well to make sure that they're down. Next up, we've got crippling. Human enemies have a 30% increased chance to enter a down state after taking enough damage. I think anytime you can cripple or put somebody down, it's going to be a good thing. 50% increased chance to not naturally recover from a down state. So you want them to stay down. Human enemies now can enter a down state earlier. Yeah, we want it to happen faster. Previous ranks now apply to all enemy types. You now do 100% more damage to down enemies. I think generally speaking, you definitely want to get this up. You want to have it happen to all enemy types. Cripple them, take them out, intimidate, persuade, get what you want. Last but not least, sharp shooting. Increases headshot critical damage by 50% with ranged weapons. Again, I don't understand why headshots wouldn't just take someone out, but let's just get them more damage. Increase critical damage to enemy legs by 50% with ranged weapons. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't know how much legs I'm going to take out, but you might. You might want to take out someone's leg, go persuade or intimidate them. Increase all critical damage to enemies by 50% with ranged weapons. Yeah, we're going to want that. And last but not least, range critical hit kills. Increase your critical hit chance with all ranged weapons by 25% for 20 seconds. I actually do not like this one. I don't think I'm going to use it that much. If I'm sniping, how quickly am I going to get a kill and be able to get my target onto somebody else and take them out? So there's a chance I might want to think about ending this one at 3 and saving those skill points. Next up, science. Now you can quickly see we do not have a lot highlighted here, and let's be real. What pirate is a scientist? We don't care. Let's cause chaos. On the first tier, we've got astrodynamics and medicine. Astrodynamics increase grav jump range by a jump drives of 15%. We're We're going to talk about traits in a little bit. This does come into play potentially. You might want to move around the galaxy as fast as possible and as far as possible. Reduce fuel costs by jump drives by 15%. Yes, this ties into that. We want to save fuel. Increased grav jump range and reduce fuel costs by 30%. Again, yes, please. And last is reduced fuel costs of jump drives by 50%. So if we're jumping around, we're running from people, we want to be able to reduce our fuel cost. The other one we've got in this row is medicine. We just need to be able to take care of ourselves. Med packs, trauma packs, emergency kits restore 10% additional health, 10% faster. 20% more, 20% faster, 30% more, 30% faster, and then last is all of those do it 50% more and 50% faster and have a chance to cure an affliction. I think that's going to potentially be important. You're going to be in a lot of fighting. You're going to want to cure yourself. As far as the science tree goes, you're going to want to look into this. The other three we do not have highlighted is geology, research methods, and surveying. We're going to be looking to take things from people. We're not looking to find things necessarily or research things. So we skipped those two. Surveying, we're just not necessarily convinced that we're going to want to do it. Now, we might have a mission to go do it, and not having that could cost us. But again, we're trying to just wreak havoc and take things. Tier 2 advanced scanning. You can detect uncommon inorganic resources on planet and moon surfaces and more information about ships in space. That's where that's going to potentially be critical. You might want to board a ship. Please scan it and scan it well. Notice the uncommon resources a part of this at the beginning. Next up, you can detect rare of all of those same things. Next up, exotic. So it's giving you the ability to scan things better to know the rarity of it. And then last but not least, unique. So this is all about knowing what's on ships in these areas. You also gain a complete list of cargo on ships in space. That is phenomenal. You definitely want to know that. Scan that ship, know what's on there, go take it over. Spaceship design. You can craft improved spacesuits, helmets, and pack mods. Research additional mods at the research lab. We're going into this a little bit because if you remember back in social isolation, do 40% more damage and gain 60% damage resistance for each spacesuit and helmet equipped when you don't have a companion or crew. So we're thinking that the spacesuit design might be important. You're going to want to make sure to maximize that combination. Level 2 is you can research and craft superior spacesuit, helmet, and pack mods. Level 3 is craft cutting edge spacesuit. So again, you're just getting better quality as you level this up. Construction of spacesuit, helmet, and pack mods occasionally doesn't cost resources. Yeah, we're going to want that so we can reduce what the resources we need. Last on this second tier, advanced weapon engineering. You can craft improved weapon mods at a weapon workbench and research additional weapon mods at a research lab. Now, we didn't lean into any research methods before, so this might be one that you could consider ditching. You can research and craft superior weapon mods, but again, we need weapon mods, so maybe we think about going back to this one later. I wouldn't start with it though, unless you need points to move down. Third level, you can research and craft cutting edge weapon mods. Last but not least, craft master level weapon mods. So you're basically trying to make your stuff stronger. Currently, we do not have anything in the expert row here, but we're absolutely expecting to need to potentially build some to get to this last row. If you're going to build something here, I think it might be personal preferences between whether you want to craft stuff, you want to scan certain planets, or if you really like to have a bunch of outposts. There is a chance as a pirate, you might want to have some outposts so you can go hide on a certain moon. This one I'm going to leave up to you if you need to get down to this last tier, which we've got in the master tier, a neutronic fusion. The first level ship reactors produce 1 extra unit of power. Yeah, we want our ships to be able to be extra powerful so we can do grav jumps, etc. 2 extra units of power, 3 extra units of power, and then on the last one, 5 extra units of power. If you find that you do not need that extra power for what you're doing, again, given that you might not want anything in this level before, this could be one you potentially ditch. Because like I said at the front end, are pirates really scientists? Last but not least, we've got tech. And you can see I've got that entire first tier 1 of novice all highlighted. Ballistic weapon systems, boost pack training, piloting, security, and targeting control systems. Ballistic weapon systems. Ballistic ship weapons have 10% increased damage and cost 20% less to use in targeting mode. We talked about targeting earlier. This ties into this. You're going to be on a ship. You're going to be fighting people. We want more damage. 20% more increased damage and recharge 15% faster. We'll definitely want that. 30% increased damage, 30% increased recharge. And then on the last ones, 50% more damage to individual systems. Next, we've got boost packs. We want boost packs. You can now utilize boost packs. Using a boost pack expends less fuel. Boost pack fuel regenerates more quickly. Doubles previous bonuses. So you're just going to want to be able to use your boost pack, jump around, do what you need to do so that you can survive better. Piloting. You can now utilize ship thrusters. Let's be real. We're going to need that. Increase ship turning rate and maneuverability. Yeah, you're going to be fighting a lot of people in space. A lot of people are going to be chasing you. Definitely need this. Unlock the ability to pilot Class B ships. Yeah, we're going to want to do that. Class C ships. Yes, piloting. Absolutely got to have it. Security. You can attempt to hack advanced locks and 2 auto attempts can be banged. You're going to want to break into stuff. You're a pirate. Do it. You can attempt to hack expert locks. 3 auto attempts bang. Rings now turn blue when the pick can be slotted. Just helping you pick locks. You want to build that up. You can now do master level locks and 4 auto attempts banked. And then last, expend a digipick to eliminate keys that aren't required to solve the puzzle. 5 auto attempts can be banked. We want to pick stuff. This is going to help us do it. Last but not least, in tier 1, we've got targeting control systems. Unlock ship targeting functionality. We're going to want to do this. You're going to want to target ships. It's important. Time to lock onto enemy ships is reduced by 15%. We're going to want to do that quickly so that we know what they've got and be able to follow them. Target lock ships fire at you 25% slower. Yeah, we'll need that. Time to lock onto enemy ships is reduced by 30%. You have a 10% increased chance of critical hitting a target lock ship. And then last but not least, time to lock onto enemy ships is reduced by 60%. Deal 20% increased system damage in targeting mode. You're going to want to be able to do this in space. You want to target, you want to scan, you want to survive. Tier 2 advanced in tech. We've got engine systems, payloads, and shield systems. This is all about, again, survivability and have a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to want to keep. Now, I will say the one we do not have highlighted, energy weapon systems, there is a chance you're going to want to play into that. The thought here at the moment was that, you know what, you're going to be so good at maneuvering and targeting, you're not going to necessarily need this, but I would absolutely consider building into that. It likely depends how much space fighting you're going to plan on doing. So engine systems, your ship's top speed is increased by 10%. We know we want that because we're going to have to flee and get places real fast. Ship boost lasts longer and the cooldown is shorter. Yeah, we're going to want to do that. Your ship's top speed is increased by 20%. Again, yeah, we want to go fast. While boosting, all enemies disengage the player and can only reacquire them as a target after the player stops boosting. Yeah, we don't want people locked in on us. We're going to want to get away. Payloads. Ship cargo holds 10% more capacity. Again, we're pirating, we're stealing, we're taking stuff. We need our ship to hold as much as possible. 20% more capacity. 30% more capacity, and then last but not least, 50% more capacity. Shield systems. We need to survive. We need to take hits. Your ship has 20% increased shield capacity, 40% increased shield capacity, 60% increased shield capacity. Your shields will occasionally resist 100% of all damage received. Again, we want to survive. People are going to be coming for us. In tier 3 expert, we've only got 1 selected for the moment. If you find you need to do more than this, missile weapon system is an option, particle beam option, and if you really want to improve your ship, even starship design is a decent option. It's going to be about what you want to do. Do you like these weapons? Do you need more damage? Ultimately, that's going to be up to you. I think with the starship design, you can get up to the experimental ship modules. This could be one that you might need to do if you're jumping around space and need to really build a spaceship as customized as you need. For now, starship engineering. All ship system repairs 10% faster. We're going to take damage we need to repair. Ship systems have 25% increased damage mitigation. Again, we're going to take damage. We need to mitigate it. You repair your systems 25% faster. Occasionally repairing 1 block of a system will repair the entire system. We anticipate this might be important because you're going to want to be able to repair as fast as possible. So every once in a while, when you get 1 block repaired and it repairs the entire system, that will be very advantageous. And then last here, we've got automated weapon systems and boost assault training. Automated weapon systems. Get automated ship weapons do 10% more damage and reduce all targeting mode costs by 20%. We're going to be targeting. It's going to be important. Weapons do 20% more damage, reduce the targeting cost by 30%, and your ship takes 20% less damage while in targeting mode. You might be targeting someone. They're going to be attacking you. You don't want to take that damage. Next level up is 30% more damage, reduce targeting mode cost by 40%, and increase crit chance against targeted subsystems by 20%. Last in this skill is ship turret weapons recharge 20% faster and do 20% more damage to targeted subsystems. We're going to want to be taking out ships. We're going to be wanting to recharge as fast as possible. All right, boost assault training. Nearby enemies take damage when you boost and have a chance to catch on fire. We built into boost earlier, so yeah, why not get them to catch on fire? Chance to knock down nearby enemies when you boost. This might be a nice way to get out of a sticky situation where you just do your booster pack and knock everybody down. Fuel is still expended until empty. All right. Last but not least, while hovering, time slows down and the world moves 70% slower around you. This will be nice so that way you can sort of maneuver and get what you need to in sort of a slow mode and be able to almost matrix things as you see fit. If you haven't seen The Matrix, please go watch it. We did not do EM weapon systems, but this again is something you might want to look into because any weapon damage we can increase is always useful. So holy cow, was that a lot of skills, but at least it gives you a path that you're going to want to go down to optimize how to be the best pirate you can. Now that we're through that, let's talk backgrounds. When you first create your character, you are going to be able to choose a background, which is going to give you 3 specific skills. Based on everything we just looked at, there might be some that are a little bit better for you versus others. So why not start off in the right direction? We'll go through a few potentials first and then hit the ones that we think might be best served. Bouncer, all 3 of these definitely check boxes. We've got 2 physical skills in boxing and fitness and security. All of these things are something that we're going to look at, and it's all about being tough and having the ability to push people around. Combat medic might seem like an odd choice, but it does check the box for some of the skills we talked about. Now, if you don't want a pistol, then I would skip this one. Cyberneticist, it does sort of check the boxes, but again, if you're not into lasers, I'd skip this. Diplomat just feels wrong anytime you're thinking about being a pirate, but these might come into play if you really want to do it. The commerce, getting things for cheaper, selling them for more, persuading people. So technically it counts, but I'm not sure I'm picking this one. Soldier, these are definitely going to check the box. You get your fitness, physical skill. You've got a combat skill and ballistics if that's something you're looking at. We talked about boost pack training. Checks all the boxes. Space scoundrel. This just absolutely makes sense, right? This works. You've got your pistol though again, so if you don't like pistols, maybe this isn't your thing, but piloting and persuasion, yeah, you're going to need those. We're getting closer to what I feel like is the optimal space pirate. Gangster, boxing, thievery. But then again, do you want a shotgun certification? It might not be what you want, but if it is, this is a pretty decent background choice. All right, our final 3 that I think are optimal. Bounty hunter. Well, clearly this is going to work. All tech skills, but we need them. And let's be real, even as a pirate, you can be a bounty hunter. Oh wow, cyber runner. This is right up our alley. Stealth, security, thievery. These check every single one of your boxes. This is absolutely one to pick. The other one that I would look at picking, Ronin. You're masterless, unbound, like it says, dueling, stealth, scavenging. So between this or Cyber Runner, those are the ones that I'm going to be looking at. If I had to pick, and man, it is a tough choice, I think I'm going to start off as the Ronin. This gives me a little bit more ability to fight and take things and stay hidden. Whereas Cyber Runner, that's a little bit more stealth and thievery. Both are optimal choices. If you want to look at all these, we want to shout out GameMaps.com. They have great listings for these to check out. All right, last but not least, we have traits. We have the option to pick 3 of these. Like I mentioned in the deep dive video, you can only pick one of certain types, and some you can't overlap, and that includes religion and faction allegiance traits. You've only got 3 choices, so are you going to want any of those? It's really important to pick the ones that make your pirating optimal. And we're talking about a faction allegiance. We don't answer to anybody. We're causing chaos. We're pirating. We do what we want. So the quick answer might be no, but maybe some of these can help us in our pirating. So let's not necessarily rule them out. So let's start off with religion. Do any of these give us what we want? 2 of them, Raised Enlightened trait and Raised Universal trait, are basically the same. You're a member of either one of these religions. You get to open the chests from these particular religions, but there doesn't seem to be anything that's all that exciting as far as pirating. However, when you look at the 3rd one, the Serpent's Embrace, when you grav jump, you get a boost to health and endurance. And there's a chance as a pirate, you are going to be looking to grav jump all over the place, taking things. So this is definitely one of the religions you're going to want to think about. But if I'm not trying to jump around the systems, then I'm skipping all of these religions in general, unless we find out later that the chests are really amazing. Then we've got the faction allegiances. We've got Freestar Collective, Neon Street Rat, and we also have United Colonies. In general, you get special dialogue and rewards from these and increased bounties from the other factions. So you might be chased a little bit more if you start messing around. And I will say, as a pirate though, I just have this feeling as a Neon Street Rat, you might fit into some pretty cool stuff. So far we're looking at possibly this and a Serpent's Embrace. That would leave only one left. Whether you pick one of those or not, some that we would look at for traits, Alien DNA trait. You're going to have more health pool and greater endurance, but your healing items are less effective. We weren't leaning into that before. Do we want to lean in more? It's definitely a potential. We're pirating. We already talked about not having people on our crew. Introvert is one that would make sense. We don't want to be with anybody. We want to take stuff, not answer to anybody or talk about their feelings. So leave me alone. Let me be by myself. Then we have Spaced and Terra, and these cannot be combined. You have to pick one or the other. If you're finding that you're going to be in space fighting a lot, you might want to consider Spaced. If you find that you're going to be fighting on planets a lot, maybe you pick Terra. I'm not sure I like picking one or the other on this because I might be doing both. So when we're looking at these to try to pick three, Introvert seems like an obvious choice, leaving only two. Wanted gives us extra damage when our health is low. We're a pirate. We want to be able to survive. There is a chance that this might be number two. If you don't want to be wanted and you want to have no target on your back, maybe then instead you lean into the Serpent's Embrace and Neon Street Rat. If you really don't want to jump around the solar system, then I'd recommend dropping that and maybe lean into the Alien DNA. I think between that Introvert, Alien DNA, and Wanted, that's three right there, but you really want that Neon Street Rat story. All right, let's drop Alien DNA. Let's pick up that Neon Street Rat. If you instead decide you want to be jumping around the galaxy, solar system, going wherever you want very quickly, you can drop one of those for Serpent's Embrace. I don't think any of those are bad choices, and they will all help you with your pirating. So this is our pirate build, our bounty hunter, our chaos maker, our master of mayhem builds. We're excited to hear how you like this in-game. What changes would you make? Please comment on those below. How are you going to start jumping throughout the universe and causing all this piracy? What's your plan for builds once you get going? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. We're really excited to hear what everybody thinks. We appreciate you making it this far. We're going to continue to do Starfield content. If you found this helpful or want to help support the channel, please consider hammering down that like button as well as subscribing. Share with your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews. Always appreciate that. And until next time, we hope you have a wonderful day.